Hello everyone, welcome back, Savridis here, coming back with a new part of What If Deku Was an Akame Kill, and finally I said it correctly for once. Regardless, don't forget to tell me what you think about this part down in the comments, and let's just begin, shall we? Now, in the next morning, after the unfortunate demise of Shell in the last part, Midoriya is waking up in the morning, really early in the morning, along with Bulat. Akame watches as Midoriya is outside, training with Bulat on push-ups with a giant boulder on his back, and a few weights, while Bulat is cheering him on, telling him to go harder, come on, yeah, that's the spirit, as she's watching those two train. Eventually, Leone shows up and she's like, hey Akame, what are the boys doing? As Akame said, it seems Midoriya and Bulat are training. As she said, ooh, really? How about we join them? As they get closer and, Leone said, good morning, Ball. As Bulat said, Akame, Leone, good morning. As Midoriya said, 99 and 100. As he finally drops after basically pushing the boulder off of him, as he rolls on the back, shirtless on the ground, sweating, with One For All electricity shining, as he just breathing heavily before Leone looks down at him saying, ooh, I certainly like seeing you when you train. As Midoriya looks at her, getting a little too close, so he just backs away and said, oh, hey, Leone, Akame, didn't see you there. As Akame said, since when were you training? As Bulat said, well, I usually train at 5 in the morning, and, well, I saw Midoriya, and we decided to work together. Right, he's really been pushing himself quite a lot this morning. I don't know what got into you, buddy, but it's certainly inspiring. As Midoriya said, yeah, I need to get stronger as fast as I can. I can't afford to be weak anymore or hesitant. From here on out, I want to be somebody that this team can rely on and not just a burden. I made a promise. As, well, Akame just looks at Midoriya, remembering last night and the way Midoriya talked to her. Is he serious about what he said? If he is, that look in his face sure tells her all that she needs to know. He is serious, and it's quite admirable. And a smile finds its way on her face. As Leone said, well, that's the spirit. Then come on, let's go. We have a mission to do today, me and you, per usual, partner. But first we need breakfast. Those muscles of yours need some nutrition, as she punched him in his guts while Midoriya said, I guess, thanks. Who's cooking breakfast today? As she said, my treat. As well, all four of them go inside and eat breakfast. Eventually, after they're done eating their food, they all get together in the, of course, living room again. Right now, after Midoriya finished his training with Bulat, at the moment, since, the last time he trained, he was able to use about 18 of One For All. Now, he finally reached 20. 20 of One For All without the need of showing his electricity, because his body have adapted to it. Now, his new limit is 25, where when his body reaches its limit and his lightning shows up again. Though he still, to this very moment, can't shake this weird feeling every time he uses One For All, even on lower percentages that doesn't allow the excess power to surge out of his body as lightning. He still feels odd. This quirk feels odd. But as per usual, he shakes the feeling off, because there's really no one in this world who can help him around with his own quirk, since no one really knows anything about it. Regardless, Akame and the rest of everyone is standing in front of Najinda, as she explains to everyone a few missions today. Akame and Lovak are going on a mission on their own. Of course, Bulat and Shell are going in a different direction, and most definitely, Izuku and Leone are gonna take somebody out. Since their last mission of that one drug dealer who was also trafficking women and taking them from the street, and since Midoriya have used his Imperial Arm Spectator in order to see into that man's head and find out who is his supplier and who's allowing those drugs to get in and out of the Empire, of course, Najinda decided to use this information and for that person to be Izuku and Leone's next target. And so it is. Midoriya and Leone go ahead when the night falls. After all, they are called nitrate for a reason. They found and located the person. He lives in a little house in the distance, and he is one of the Imperial generals. Right now in his house, he is playing a poker game with two of his friends, with a lot of money on the table. Money that Midoriya can only assume is from his work, and watching him enjoy a game while talking about business. And their next, of course, big score and the packages they gonna deliver next week. Watching all of this and hearing it, well, Leona is the one hearing it, Midoriya is more watching it. She keeps telling him what they're talking about and it just gets him sick. He clenches his fist, takes a deep breath, and keeps shallow in his mind as he remembers what she told him. Kill those who hurts others in order to save the innocent, because mercy for the guilty is cruelty to those innocents. And so, they do just as that. Midoriya and Leone sneak into the house silently, and in the living room, all of those three pals are still playing poker. Suddenly, Leone jumps on the two people from the back, grabs their heads, and spins them around, quickly executing them, while the guy, their main target, he was about to reach for his sword, but suddenly someone puts his hand on his mouth and in a quick motion stabs him through the guts from the back. With Midoriya, just to be clear, he twists the sword and then he pulls it out before the guy drops on the ground, start bleeding until he dies. But not before he flips over the table and causes all the plates on it to fall along with the chips, as Leone said, "Good job." And Midoriya just nods before they suddenly hear a sound saying, "Hello? Anybody there?" As Midoriya and Leone immediately go through the window and jump out, as Midoriya was going to continue running before he hear a sound saying, "Dad?" As when Midoriya jumps out of the window and hears that sound, he looks behind of him. He just sees a little child. As the child looks to see Midoriya, though his vision is obscured by the light of the moon, making Midoriya's face seem unrecognizable. The only thing that he can see clearly is this lightning, as the kid's getting scared, but Midoriya realizing this, and Leone realizing what happened, she grabbed Midoriya and started running with him, saying, "Come on!" As Midoriya snaps back into reality, he runs alongside of her. While the kid inside the house, he starts crying, saying, "Papa? Papa? Dad? Please wake up! Dad!" As Midoriya can start hearing crying. As he runs away, he's shaking. His breath is increasing in speed, and the tears, the cries of that kid in his mind is echoing, and he hears them through the entire night as loud, as clear as crows flying. Until finally they make enough distance. Midoriya falls on his knees while Leona said, "Well, that's a successful mission. Let's go report our..." As Midoriya said, "You knew, didn't you?" As Leona said, "Hmm?" As Midoriya is on the ground, hands shaking, saying, You knew. You knew that our target was... He had a son. You knew." As Leona said, "Yes, I knew." As Midoriya said, "Then why? Why did you make me kill him?" As Leona said, "Why did I make you kill him? Don't act as if you're not the one who stabbed him in the back. As Midoriya said, yes, I stabbed him in the back. I stabbed him in the back because he's... As Leona said, because he's what? A target? That's your reason? Well, good. He is a target. And that is a good enough reason to kill him. After all, we know what he done. Don't you remember? Don't you remember what happened yesterday? Our last mission? You saw what those drugs did to those ladies. Everything is better off with that guy keeping those drugs in and out of the country. As Midoriya continues to say, but still, he had a son. As Leone grabs Midoriya by his shirt as she said, and so did the families he killed. All the people he hurt. How many of them do you think had families, Izuku? How many had wives? How many had children? How many had brothers, sisters, mothers? Tell me, how many do you think? As Midoriya just looks down, as Leona lets go of his shirt and drops him on the floor as she continues saying, get a hold of yourself. I'm sorry. I should have I should have shared those informations with you. Withholding them from you was my mistake. But you had to do this on your own. It's just what we assassins do. Sometimes our targets may have families, and it's just how this job is. Even though they have families, that doesn't change that they're a bad person. Just because that guy was a father doesn't mean his crimes are suddenly all fine and dandy, and that he is excused. You had to kill him yourself just to know that. Don't think for a second that I didn't do the same for some of my targets as well. But it's something we just have to ignore. Now come on, let's go. As Midoriya said, but the kid, as Leona said, he has a mother. Don't worry about it. As Midoriya said, I also had a mother. But I didn't have a father. As Leona was walking away, she stepped in her path. As suddenly, she finally comes into her realization. Midoriya is not coming out of a place of fear or sadness for the kid. It's not just baseless affection for a child who just saw his father get killed, but it comes from a place of a child who also didn't have a father. But in this case, it's even worse, because Midoriya never knew who his father was. This kid, on the other hand, just saw the person who murdered his dad and his father bleeding on the ground in his arms. Leona looks in the ground. She clutches her fist, angry on herself a bit for being somewhat heartless, as she turns around saying, I'm sorry, but we can't do anything now. He's dead. Let's go. As Midoriya just stands up saying, fine. Okay. As he looks at the house, but he doesn't dare to use spectator to look inside, because the moment he do, he knows that it's that moment that his resolve will break as well. So he turns his back and continues walking away. Looking down, clenches his fist. It has to be done. He told himself that person was a criminal. He was irredeemable, right? Right? It's not like he could have thrown him in prison or anything. Regardless, Midoriya and Leone go back into the hideout, and it was a very, very silent walk back to the hideout. After which, when they finally reach the hideout, they report their success. Midoriya looks a little down, but nothing much. And the next morning, everyone wakes up and the cycle repeats. They have their breakfast, they talk a little, Midoriya trains, and eventually in the night, Najunda reveals to all of them that she got some news. It seems that Esdeath is back. As immediately Lavak is like, "What? No way! This soon? You can't." She must have like, you know, uh, okay, I don't have an explanation, but like, there's no way she's back that way quick from the north. As Najunda continues saying, well, it seems that the minister have demanded she comes as quickly as possible. And yes, she did take over the north. In a record time as well. It seems that the minister wants her to personally hunt us down. And she's starting very strong already. Check this out, as she's holding a paper saying, this is one of our posters. It seems that her 3 beasts, Esdeath's most loyal and strongest warriors, who are also Imperial armor users, have been killing people, very rich individuals and high-status people that try to help the Empire. The rebellion counts on those people to help support the Empire and provide money that will help us rebuild the country once everything is said and done and we take down the minister. For those beasts to kill those people is really, really bad for us and the rebellion as a whole. Not to mention they're blaming it on us, and in turn they're blaming the rebellion. As Midoriya said, I see. So our mission is to protect them? As Najunda said, precisely. You will be separated into 2 groups. Some of you will protect 2. We have 2 people to protect. One on the other side of the country, while one is going on a cruise ship. Midoriya, Bulat, you'll be taking that one. As Najunda continues saying, as for the rest of you, I'll give you your own targets to protect. Everyone get ready, because tomorrow the mission will start. As Midoriya said, oh, so we're sneaking on a cruise ship? As Bulat said, yep. Since me and you are the only people around here who don't really have their faces seen already, it will be very easy for us to sneak in. Also, anyone could not possibly, resist your young and handsome boy charm. As Midoriya said, thanks, Vlad, as Midoriya just takes a few steps back. Eventually, the next day, Midoriya and Bulat put on their, disguises. While Midoriya puts on his disguise, Bulat, on the other side, he uses Imperial Arm to disappear. Right now, Midoriya is just on the ship, wearing a little fancy suit, while looking into the horizon. As he said, this is quite the beautiful ship. This world is a lot more advanced than I believed so. As suddenly he feels something hitting him on the back of the head and someone whispering into his ear saying, keep your eyes open and keep that Imperial arm of yours eyes open as well. After all, I'm counting on you, Midoriya, for keeping your eyes open. As Midoriya said, you said eyes open a bit too much there. As Bulat said, that's because I need you to keep them open and to stop staring into the distance. The person who you should be staring at is that guy. As they point on their target, he's a very rich individual and a guy with a big heart that likes to help the people in need, which is refreshing to say the least for Midoriya to hear that this guy isn't some creepy dude who steals ladies out of the street and drug them before having his way with them or something. It's refreshing, to say the least. And Midoriya is wondering, who is Esdeath and where her beast could probably be? As, of course, good old Bulat said, I haven't seen them in person ever, so I can't exactly tell. For now, hold on, it seems that I am reaching my limit. As Midoriya said, your Imperial arm is reaching its limit? As he said, yep, I'll need a few minutes to recharge. I'll be down on the bottom deck if you need me for anything. Just make sure to call me. As he gives him a thumbs up, and Bulat just walks away, with Midoriya's thinking that Bulat's imperial arm is quite awesome, especially that invisibility of his reminds him of Hagakure. Regardless, after a while, and Midori just enjoying the party, eventually he starts hearing music. Music that's ringing in his ear as people start falling around of him. Everyone falling into the ground like their will is being stripped away, falling into slumber as Midoriya start feeling dizzy as well while grabbing into the ledge of a table. As he said, what the hell? As he said, come on, stay awake. Damn it. As, his vision start getting blurry and his eyelashes and eyes start getting tired and heavy, as then he just slaps himself to stay awake, saying, stay awake, don't fall for it. As he said, I need to get away from the sound. As he activates One for All up into 17% and makes a run for it to the deck of the ship outside, trying to hopefully close this noise, put some things in his ears to block it, which helps, but not too much. Start feeling a little dizzy, but eventually, as he's on the deck of the ship, he hears a sound from behind saying, well, seems that you certainly have quite the strong will, and you seem quite powerful for someone with your small stature. As Midoriya turns around and he sees this weird guy with horns and long blonde hair and a big stature. Reminds him of somebody. As Midoriya looks at him saying, who are you? As Midoriya realizes that the music apparently finally stopped. As the guy said, well, who am I? It doesn't really matter. But who are you? That's what matters. You seem like a good XP farm. As Midoriya said, XP farm? Great. Just what I need. Someone who talks in game mechanics. As Midoriya can't help but remember a certain guy covered in hands. Regardless, Midoriya takes out his sword and said, I assume you're on Esdeath's side? As he said, well, ding ding ding, you're certainly also smart. That's a good thing. Let's see how long you last. I'll be sure to get a lot of experience for this. As he takes out his axe and Midoriya said, bring it on. And this one gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget to tell me down in the comments what do you think about this part and yada yada yada, blah blah blah. See you later, alligator. Bye.